I want us to think infinite intelligence. It's something I want us to do. I want us to come cautious of our breathing just for 5 silence of this breath flowing through you and just say, what new echo do you want me to do? What new echo do you have in store for me? What is your desire towards me? That use of spirit can only be key when we understand this breath flowing through us always listens. There's no point in time it's not breathing, and every pulse it makes, every rhythm it listens. And because it listens, when you find yourself isolated and that is the only thing you have to face, you see that when I mean that is the only thing you have to face, I mean imagine you are put in a bed rest that you can't move, you can't do anything but be present with this breath. Because for so many people, it takes them to a tight, like just imagine the guy that wrote Atomic Habits. He had to experience a moment where he was hospitalized because he had a fraction of his face, that ugly incident, and that's that moment where he was in no other position but to be with that breath. Because that's the only thing that makes you alive. That's the only thing that keeps you conscious. It is that breath that makes you have consciousness. Without this breath flowing through you, your consciousness is everywhere else. It keeps you at a point of consciousness, this breath. And that's why, for those of us that are neurodiverse, like myself, we understand things in a deeper and more connected way to spirit, this unseen force flowing through us, because it is something that nobody taught us about. I had an instance today when someone was saying I'm claiming supernatural, and I didn't even see it that way because spirit bond has been who I am all along. The more I research to find out why I'm spirit born, right? The more I did that, the more I saw how it is called spirit born. I wasn't even aware it was called, it was termed spirit born, right? I thought it was not right at the early age because society around you is seeing something different and you are the only one seeing what you are seeing. So it's either you have a wonderful imagination, as my mother would say, right? But it becomes more than just a wonderful imagination when different authors of different books have experiences that confirms, you know, that which you have been born to understand. You stop seeking more validation because you start going to sit with it as something that is who you are. You accept who you are. That's the word. This is where authenticity comes out purely because you accept yourself that this is how you were born and therefore this is who you are. And because you understand this and that, you cannot express yourself the way other people will express themselves because that is how you were born. Authenticity is feeling free to be who you are. I don't think I've ever been my authentic self. If I tell you I'm just a trans person, because the truth is, it is the peak of the iceberg compared to what I am. It is just a little, you know, a little aspect that classifies a whole lot more than just being someone that is trans. Because how I understand myself is because of spirit. Like it is that spirit that comes to me intuitively, or you can call it instinct. The instinct within me that is derived. Instinct is a core attachment to everything that can exist. It's what tells a lion to hunt and tells a prey to run, right? It is what makes everything conscious because it is always listening. And the more I understand spirit, the more I find it so overwhelming that it doesn't really matter if you don't understand spirit because if you don't understand spirit, if you don't accept me, does not mean I wouldn't exist. That's just it. If you refuse to accept me because I am too much for your comprehensive brain, right? I'm too much for your perspective to be able to put the words together, to be able to try to see life through a different eye. If you can't have the ability to see life through another's eye, it's your free will. And it's also my free will The way you have free will, the way everything is blessed with free will, the way you have free will to care to understand somebody else, the way I have free will to care to understand anybody else. But because I would always choose to express love, because love is who I am. Love is just me wanting the other person to feel good without wanting anything to get from the person. I'm not trying to make you smile because I have something to get from you. Making you smile is me making love smile. That is where I'm coming from. For me, I feel God is everything, right? And this God that I love so much, I want to make that God feel good. The least I can do. And so, in everything, I'm experiencing you for the first time in my life. I'm seeing a God in expression that I am hoping I can put a smile on that face because it is God in expression. Because there is air flowing through its lungs that listens. And it's that God that I seek to make smile. That God that listens to everything. That is the God I'm after. So you might think it doesn't fit any box that you've created. And I'm not even trying to fit in. Like the longest time of my life, like for the longest time of my life, I've not tried to fit in. Because when I've tried to, I've always got that backlash and I felt okay, let me not force myself on you. Because the truth is I don't need to fit in. I don't need you to believe I exist before I exist. That's just the meaning of fitting in. If I don't fit in, does not mean that I wouldn't exist. If you don't acknowledge me, I will still be existing where I am in whatever storyline infinite intelligence is cracking up. And that's just how it is for anybody. And I am only conscious of that God that is flowing through me. In short, if we can all even just be cautious of the God within us, right? We are just focused on and nobody else but ourselves. This world will be a much better place than it is right now because love will feel very special. And the truth is, when you see how special it is for God to flow through you, you would always see God in everything. The topic of today is one topic that takes me into alignment of everything that happened today, the nature of existence beyond memory and body. Before, I used to think if I read a lot, I would get to the point where I would, you know, be, I'll have enough knowledge to be worthy. Yeah, that was usually what the thinking was. But this also is lies because knowledge does not make you worthy to exist. Because there are so many different experience of life. There are still places within existence that people cannot even identify what a book is. If they say book, it is something they are seeing for the first time in their life. So you can't see those sets now of living beings because they are living, whether you want to acknowledge they are living or not, right? You can't see they don't exist because you are not well informed about them. That's why you can't say science has discovered all of existence. It has barely discovered the one third of what can exist. There is a lot more for science to discover. Discovery would always happen because existence is infinite. And because existence is infinite, you and I have infinite intelligence. We don't have any duplications. Even two identical twins have different fingerprints. Even if they look and have the same eye, right? That their two eyes, they're like both of them's eye can open the same device. They can never have the same fingerprints because love is infinite. And that infinity is why diversity even exists. If there was no infinity, I don't think diversity would exist. I think we would just follow the same pattern and come probably the same way. But the thing is, if you kill all the spirit born, all the LGBT, all the trans, all the diversity of love that you feel makes you cringe, that you feel is uncomfortable for you because you're probably not that emotionally intelligent, right? If you wipe them all out, right from those ones that you have selected, categorized as just normal physical, right from those ones, when they do give birth, right from them, still you will find a even more advanced diversity springing out from that mixture. Why? Because diversity is just our DNA expressed inside consciousness. Like diversity is why we have DNA. It is our DNA that is expressed in different consciousness. So no matter how much you think you want to kill and cut out and erase, you are just cutting the grass on the surface. Because the real thing now is to go to our DNA and start wiping everything out till only your DNA can exist in all of existence. That's the only solution. So I'm giving you a solution to make this whole existence capiche on a platter of gold. You have it all with you. You have to take out every DNA that is not you from your DNA. That's thing they call junk DNA. You take it out and you make sure you dispose of it in a way that it can never exist anymore. Then somehow that would work. Because the truth is, you cannot separate spirit from spirit. DNA is spirit. The reason why you need to do a lot of scientific methods, science is coming up with more advanced technology to try to unfold spirit. That is all it is about. Science is still that very intention of spirit. Why? Because it is willing to learn itself. The same way you are trying to understand how you feel, you're trying to understand what is going on with you. It's the same way science is trying to understand spirit that exists within. It is just on a larger scale of an individualized being. That is what science is about. There is nothing that is more different, more right when it comes to diversity. Diversity is infinity in nature. It doesn't start where you think it's just started. Neither would it stop at any point because it is infinite. Every time I want to react, I ask myself, what will love do? How would love react? Would love want someone to feel bad? Would love, you know, protect? Would love be nice? Would love be angry? Would love be sad? Would love want to cause separation? Because when you think love causing separation, you start wondering it's not possible because love would always bring about togetherness. So understanding love would make everything clearer about why you are a love being. Because the truth is, we are doing all that can ever exist to feel good. I do all to feel good, right? This is true to you. This is true to all. If you are not working, if you are not pushing, everything you are doing is to feel good, but you are more concentrated about what you are doing than feeling good, the result of feeling good, the reason why you are doing it. The reason why you do everything is to feel good, but you're more focused on that thing that you're doing than the feeling good that should occur. And I just want to ask, like, have you ever had that introspective moment where we think about how why are we feeling the way we're feeling? Like, why do I feel the way I feel? Is it a truth of love? Is it a lie of love? Someone doesn't want to acknowledge I exist. That is a normal scenario of a trans person, right? Anti-trans. So if the truth is, if you don't want to acknowledge I exist, it is your free will. Honestly speaking, it is your free will to not acknowledge I exist. It is always going to be your free will, and I would always love your free will. But the truth is, again, if you use your free will to say I don't exist, do I now go and commit suicide on top of your own headache of not being able to understand? Because the truth is, there are two parallel directions. You not understanding that exist, me existing is the two different things. I'm literally going through life, facing life whatever way I can, whatever possibly way I can. There are still a lot of people in Nigeria that have never been to the hospital their whole life. And there's some people that will never be to the hospital till they die because, but they still exist. The hospital has no record of them. They still exist. They are still out there existing. So a doctor cannot know those kind of people's body system. He can never imagine it because he never tested it. That is why if you are in the hospital, they would ask you to do blood tests and do different tests. They are trying so much with all their ability medically to understand what is going on within you, to be able to help you if that was their objective, right? But they need to understand you. If an alien comes into our airspace right now and we go forward to approach them, we are trying to understand what they are doing in our airspace, why they are there, because we are always going to want to understand something that is not what we understand. But yet, that is free will. What we don't understand is not compulsory for us to understand to be worthy to exist. That is why you can say an atheist and you can still exist, because it is not about you wanting to understand that you exist that will make you exist, or not wanting to understand you exist that will make you exist. You exist because you exist, because breath is flowing through you, and that is the only thing that gives us life. Some people have accidents and they lose their whole memory of a lifetime that was everything to them at some point, and they have to like start from scratch. They are like starting from the beginning. They don't even remember the past, right? They don't have a past recollection of what happened before that. Imagine how that kind of life feels like. You're just existing. You don't know why you are here, but you are told you have a family, and it's crazy. You see, that is why love is so broad. Forgive me if most times I speak on the assumption like you are in my head and know what is inside my head, because most times I'm usually always in my head. When I'm not in my head, I'm still in my head, in the sense that I'm always on my breath. I'm always saying thank you for breath, thank you for life, because what is really important to me is that I am conscious, I am breathing. If I don't make it important to me, right? If I don't make the fact that I'm breathing important to me, would not stop it from being important for me to be alive. Do you get what I mean? The day I don't breathe, that is when I would understand it was important. So it doesn't stop it from being important. At some point, understanding will come. So not seeing everything as one would not stop it from being one, because love is one. When you have a chaotic day and you can come back to your breath and say, thank you for this breath flowing through me that is making me alive to be conscious of this happening before me. Sorry. If you are so cautious of saying that as many times you can get it, you would find yourself less weighed by the burden of the chaos. That is the first step to changing how you feel when you're having a chaotic episode. A chaotic episode comes to see what is important to you, to ask you that question. That is why chaotic episodes spring up most of from the unknown. We want to know why love is why love, because you and I are here to prove love with all our hearts. That is the mission of love, to understand love fully, to understand love clearly. So because you and I are here to prove love, we do all, we go through all, just to be able to answer this question, why love? I seriously seek within my heart that the age of love is something you feel within you. But the truth is, it is just my heart's desire, because I know how it feels like to be at peace within you. That a chaotic moment does not change that peace into chaos. A chaotic, a chaotic moment doesn't define how you feel. It's not a one day journey. It's not something that you can just get the instant you want to do it. You have to understand why. Because circumstances around you, what your five sense can sense, would always want to grab your attention by all means. Because what your five sense can sense, you can strongly feel. You can always give your consciousness to whatever your five senses can sense, whatever you are conscious of with your five senses, you can always give attention to, can always steal your attention easily because we are the least conscious of this breath flowing through us. Some people live their whole life without even recognizing that it is the breath flowing through them that gives them life. That is why we have atheists. But an atheist now that is telling you they don't believe in God is still breathing and can only tell you they don't believe in God because they exist. If they stop existing, they can't tell you they don't believe in God. That is one thing we should always remember. It takes a living thing to have free will, to feel, to think of anything. And you can only understand it in depth if you have ever been in medical situation where you see lives in different conditions that are subjected to just this breath as their only consciousness. The only thing they can feel is the breath flowing through them. Because there's so many situationships out there that have different varieties of chaos they are facing. So many. And this is why every story is important. This is why your story is important. Yeah, very important to come out and express who you truly are. Because who you truly are is more than the physical thing we see. It's what gives us life that we are. Why we exist is because we have life. It's always my pillar. It's my one pillar that is unshakable because the day I stop feeling this warmth flowing through my nostrils, that day I can't make this video life possible. That day, anything I have flowing through me would all come to a pause till another consciousness of mine comes out again. Right? And that is how I understand life. I wish I could see life other than spirit, but it's how I was born. If I, because I read a lot, because I understand we have different human perspective. If I refuse to come out to tell you I exist, if I don't come online, I will still exist. I will still be the same person that is understanding spirit. The only thing that will be different is you will not be you won't have any glimpse of idea that someone like me can exist. That's the difference. You will not think it's even possible because I didn't give you the option of seeing my possibility exist. I didn't bring it to your attention. And there's something out there that can exist that is different from what you perspectively can interpret. Right? If I got that right. Sometimes I'm this yawning because the time difference is, like I would say, it's night here, and on a normal day I should be sleeping after working so hard. But I still come out to connect to you guys because one of one things first things first. I am still a squatter. I don't live alone, so I can only take the chance where I can get that quiet and light again, electricity. Because when you want to come online, there has to be electricity to make it possible. Because my system works with electricity. If my battery is not so much of a battery, so I can only be online with electricity. Without electricity, I don't think I can come online successfully. I wouldn't even be able to stay more than 2 minutes online. But I need that electricity to come online. Electricity itself, the energy behind it, that thing, that motion, that thing that gives it motion, science has done a lot to try to uncover, has its core rooted in spirit because it's still not seen. Electricity is not something you can see in the sense that it has to be like in a conductor for you to. You can't get electricity without a source, without having a means of putting it somewhere. It has to be. It needs a medium. That is why spirit needs a medium because it's spirit. It's everything is still connected in the oneness of what it exists within. You might not see it the way I see it, and you're not supposed to see it the way I see it. That's the honest truth. The way you see it is so beautiful. It's so important that I need to know how you see it. That is how I see life. And so I'm always interested to see how beautiful you see life. But just because how you see life is different, is diverse from how I see life, doesn't mean that how you see life is more right than how I see life, or how I see life is more right than how you see life. It is love wanting to see itself in different forms. That is why it will always becoming infinite. It is infinite in nature. You can't stop love from being infinite. You can't stop love from feeling good. And love, when embodied in flesh, would always promote union because people felt so good about football. That's what brings them together. Because people feel good about music, a certain kind of music, right? You see different people gather for different kind of music together. It is that feeling good that draws togetherness. You cannot put yourself in my company if you don't feel good. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence, for walking in alignment, for flowing through all, for animating all that can exist. Because it feels good to be one with you. If I wasn't existing, I wouldn't come out to express myself. I can't force love to exist. I can't determine what exists. Everything is going to be beautiful when you see it beautiful. It is not beautiful because you don't see it beautiful. Or is it less beautiful because you don't define its beauty because you can't see it, because you are not comfortable with it. You don't. You literally don't. I can't define your beauty. I can't define anything's beauty than feeling I am feeling. The beauty of me is the feeling I feel within me. It's what makes me alive. If a child isn't feeling good, if a baby isn't feeling good, if an infant isn't feeling good, you and I, we know that that child will die. We know. We know it in our hearts. We know that when an infant is not feeling good, it dies. And this is still very true even when we grow into adulthood. They just give it a different name. We have health challenges. Yes, they call it health challenges. It's still not feeling good. And so death comes upon a feeling good that keeps losing its essence. Longevity is love. If you seek longevity, you seek love. If you don't understand it, it wouldn't change it from being what it is. And the truth is, I will always say that line. Sometimes I say it and I'm like, why do you keep saying that line? Like, why? Love would always feel good to me. Love that flows through me tells me a lot interesting things every day that I'm just so grateful to receive. And because I'm one from a place of deep isolation, I've learned to sit with those silent moments where I have to face my routine, where God that is flowing through me becomes everything to me. And this is why I can tell you God is everything to me. I'm telling you my personal experience, my personal lived truth. Because it is my truth, I'm still living it. It is what I lived till now. And what is living within me till I keep living. Because I'm here to live, right? So if you don't think that what I'm saying is natural, it's supernatural. I'm not even interested in the supernatural. You're the one giving it a name and a label. You're the one seeing the difference with your perspective. You're the one saying we are different. You're the one understanding us different. When you think I am not God in expression, because that's how I understand it. I'm God in expression just like you're God in expression. So why would you that I see as a beautiful God in expression, that you are the one that can understand what you feel, that's you that is flowing through you. You can see it the way you see it. Why would I want that to be anything less than it is? I seek authenticity. I seek for your authenticity. I seek that you're not giving me high service. You're not trying to be around me because you think I look a particular way, I have something or anything, but because you just feel good being around me. That's how I associate, and that is why some presence would not be around me, and the same reason why I would not put myself present with any other things around me because I have lived it. I'm not telling you something that I haven't lived. I'm telling you what I have lived, but you don't want to accept it. It's your free will. You don't have to accept me for me to be alive because I'm breathing. You don't own the breath flowing through me. You can't say because you don't accept me and my breath will go. If you could have the power to do that, you would have done it. Don't you think so? You would have just done like this and I would have stopped breathing. Don't you think? Just try, just do like this. See if I won't come out my next video and I'll bring more. Because no matter what you do, you can't, it is not your power. And it is because it is not in your power that you cannot easily stop me from existing, that you want to use force, which is an expression of lack of love. Because you think you cannot affect me. But why would you even want to? Does it make sense? Like, I deeply want to make sense of it, but I can't sense it. I can't seriously sense it. I pray to God that you feel good. I don't wish hell for anyone. Not even those that feel they deserve the worst hell because they think they're the worst kind of person that can exist. There is a message that makes you alive. That's hell that you think you deserve. It is love trying to understand how someone that deserves that kind of thing can exist, like feels like. Yes, now it wants to understand, or it wants to understand how it is to be Donald Trump, how it is to want to put borders to block spirits. If not, it won't express itself like that. It wants to understand all that can exist. And it is just saying, remember, that is what I want. I want to see life in different forms. We don't need to have negative emotions because somebody is different from you. Because negative emotions affect you first than the person that you don't want, you feel should not exist because you are not comfortable with them, because you are not open to a diverse love that is everything that can exist. Oh, sorry for that. I love to push myself. That's why I keep yawning so much. And the truth is, I like not being in a box because it's boring. It's so boring that I wonder how people that are in a box, how they do it. Like I'm wondering, wow. But yes, I appreciate you for coming to experience such situationships, such experience of life, such diversity of love. Because it's not easy. It's not easy not feeling good. And if you understand misery will always seek company. The thing about misery seeking company is that see how it works. It wants the next company. It wants the company that is around it to be as equally miserable as it is. That's the trick. It wants misery to be equal. That's the company it thinks. So that's the same with love will always seek company. If I say misery seek company, you would want to attack me. But the truth is love would always seek company. Love would that's why they call it good vibe. I want people that have good vibe that I can vibe with. That's the same thing as seeking company. That mutuality, having common ground is It's company. Because if someone feels good where you are, they would want to find themselves around you as much as they can. That is why I don't want anybody around me that is not really themselves. I want you to be true to yourself, be authentic self around me. Don't try to impress me. I'm not someone that you can impress. I'm not even interested in being impressed because it's fake to me. It doesn't make sense. And what doesn't make sense to me, I can't swallow it down. I can't just do that. Just the same way that you can't see things the way you see things. And the way we see things are different. That's why every color has a purpose. Red is beautiful on its own. Just the same way black is beautiful on its own. Just the same way green is beautiful on its own. It's all is beautiful on its own. And together it gives a beautiful rainbow that would stun your imagination, right? So you can't stop someone from being their authentic self because you don't know how to be your authentic self, or because your authentic self is different. You stop other people from being their authentic self. What do you gain out of it? When it is beautiful to see the unity in all, when you see it, when you see unity in all, and you see the beauty in it, there are two beautiful scenarios done together. Like together, they are making a world of harmonious living because you see the unity in all. You see why unity, the togetherness, and you don't just see the togetherness. You see the beauty in togetherness. You know, seeing the beauty in togetherness, the beauty in togetherness is, if we can all see the beauty in togetherness, we won't have war. We wouldn't have killings. There won't be anything like Gaza where people are dying, where lives that can be used effectively, productively. If you give me 10 people, you've given me 10 people with free will, right? You're giving me 10 possible diversity of love that can generate something. Just 10 people alone can achieve a lot when they come together. Then imagine a whole nation. Then imagine a whole earth coming together. What we can achieve. Because there's a lot to achieve together. They might be different, but it's beauty to bring that difference together, to see how they fixed it, to see, because you're a part of a puzzle that fits a particular piece of another puzzle. Like every part of the puzzle has a intention because it has its own key fix where it's fixed perfectly. And without that particular piece, it's incomplete. That is why existence needs you to be complete unto itself. Because if it doesn't need you to be complete unto itself, you will stop breathing. You will not even breathe. Like this moment, you are not even alive if it doesn't need you to be complete unto itself. But because existence needs you to be complete unto itself, you exist. The day you don't exist, you can't do anything about it. You can't pay for it. You can't bribe. You can't do anything at all. Caring to understand that will not change it. And it is not about fearing that, it is about embracing it. That there's so much beauty in different things coming together. To make a soup, a lot of different chemicals came together. Chemicals that were planted, that grew from different components of different source. There was the pot, there was the water that contained memory from only God know how ancient time. So many things came together for that thing to become beautiful. Anything that is so beautiful has a lot of ingredients inside it. Just the same way your whole being is mixed up of different chemical components. The one that is doing your eyes, the one that is working your chest, the one that is working your feet, your toes, your everything, they are spread accurately to the effective places where they belong to function perfectly. Just the same way all the stars in the sky are set in their beautiful place. The sun is the beauty of its own, but the sun does not exist without so many chemicals within it. It can't even exist if it was just its own without a source. But we forget so much. So the topic is still why we are talking about what with beyond this breath. What defines us? What defines me is my breath. What defines you? What have you made define you? Have you said to yourself, if I don't have certain things, I am worthless. I am not worthy. I should not live. Because me, I've just said to myself, if I don't have breath, I should not live. That's just what defines me. So simple. When I'm speaking what defines you, you think it's a big English. I'm not speaking big English. I'm just saying the simple thing. What is flowing through me, if it's not there, I cannot exist. That is what I believe. You might not believe the same thing, that if your breath is not there, you will not exist. If you don't believe that if your breath is not flowing through you, you will not exist. It's your free will. Honestly. If you don't want to believe it, it is your free will. But just because you don't want to believe that if your breath is not flowing through you, you will not exist. Does it mean that if your breath is not flowing through you, will you still exist? That is how I see it. It's so simple and sweet. So I can't use any other thing to define me. I can't say because something else that is not my breath flowing through me, I do not exist. Right? So this brings me to the roundup of what we've been talking about, the nature of existence that is so much tied to our breath, so much tied to our core, what defines us, the unspoken breath that outlines every name. That's even when you think it's that card that if you don't have that makes you not exist, you see that it's more than that car, it's the breath flowing through you. And stillness is just being present. That moment of the first entrance of our video was stillness in its own way. It makes you sit with your thoughts for just even 2 minutes. Just think about it. Love is beautiful, and love is why you exist, is why I exist. I'm not here to convince you, I'm seeking your free will, hoping you can consider it. That is all I can do. Try to remind you It's your free will to accept. So stay blessed, stay loved, love more. Yeah, love. I love you so much. I honestly do. Even if you don't believe it, I do.